Welcome to the Law of Attraction in Business. My name's John Carter, and this is the first of many DVDs that I'll be doing. What I'm going to be discussing today is the ideas of the law of attraction of the subconscious mind and how they relate to business. So it's a little bit of a different talk. I'm hoping that you'll get a lot of value out of it. When I started to learn some of these principles about the subconscious mind, I had incredible growth in my business and in myself. And still learning a bunch of these principles, but I'm at the stage now where I feel like I can give back and share some of the things that I've learned and I've got a lot of value out of. Really hope you enjoy the next 30 minutes. Sit back, relax, and I'll see you at the end. And welcome to the Law of Attraction in Business.
Please welcome to the floor, Johnny Carter.
Thanks, Colleen. Sorry if I stumble over my words. I am a little bit jet lagged, so I apologise in advance. The subject matter obviously is the law of attraction, how it relates to core business principles. And hopefully I've got something to share that will add value to you if you've ever thought about starting your own business, or you are in business and you wanted to improve it. Hands up, has anyone thought about starting their own business or are in business currently? Wow, nearly the whole room. Cool. So I've been in business since I was 21. I'm at a point now where I don't have to work at all. The businesses run themselves, and I've made a note to myself in the last 12 months that I want to give back and help others. And particularly on the stuff that we're going to learn tonight, because when I discovered NLP and working with the subconscious mind and how it could relate to business, my growth in my business went skyrocketed once I practiced these principles. So my belief is business isn't just about, doing a business plan and getting an accountant and working hard. There's really another factor to it that will really make it, in my experience, go from this level to up here. And it's really coming from an invisible realm. It's really about talking to your subconscious mind and looking at some of the limiting beliefs that potentially is there, and a lot of it relates to money, because at the end of the day, we're in business to make money. I mean, whether or not you got your passions and you want to start a business in that arena, but at the end of the day, we all want to make more money. Does everyone want to make more money? Yeah. And money isn't evil. Money isn't bad. Money is a great tool, and you can do a lot with it, and give to people and help people and all those sorts of things. So I'll just move on from there. So the subconscious mind is your servant. And the thing about that is, you talk to your subconscious mind, and in relation to money and prosperity is, do you believe you deserve success? Really? Do you believe that you deserve money? Do you believe you deserve abundance? And when you do get that success, what do you think people will think about you? You really need to look at those things. And once you etch away at those things and clear them, you'll have a much more, you'll be able to attract the thing that you want in abundance. So we'll look at the definition of entrepreneur. That person has the God-given ability and qualities to think outside the box, as well as have the courage to implement those ideas in the most creative ways. The operative word here is thinking outside the box and courage. Fortune really favours the brave, and in my experience, a lot of people have a lot of very good ideas, but there's a fear that's stopping them following it through. And at the end of the day, you've just look at you really do have to have the courage, but work, if you do have those fears, look at ways to implementing so you can overcome those fears and anxieties about whether it will work, whether it won't work. It doesn't really matter, because there's no such thing as failure anyway. There's only really feedback for learning. And when you look at failure that way, you've got nothing to worry about. Just give it a go. Give it a go. Has anyone got a good idea here that they haven't pursued for some fear, reason, anxieties, what people will think, haven't got the money? It's really important to do a diagnostic of some of the beliefs of why you're not pushing forward on that. And because you don't really need to know the whole staircase and all the answers to where you're going before you take the first step. The important thing is you take the first step and the answers will then follow. Because I get a lot of people coming up to me advice about when they first start a business, and I'm not a big believer in business plans because 9 times out of 10 a business will go another direction, another way, and it will never be what you originally designed in the first place. But the most important thing really is just take that step, just follow it through and say yes and work out how. This is push the reset button. So what, now what? I just got this the other day when I was in China in the hotel room. I was looking at the Asian business channel and some lady entrepreneur there, she mentioned this and I kind of like it. Any time in life we just push the reset and say, so what, now what? And it's kind of, to me, it sort of rings true. It's like, well, let's not hang on to the past. If something hasn't worked out, so what, now what, what's next? Just move, don't get stuck, move, flow with it. And the biggest thing also is you need to have a big enough why about what is the reason you want to do it. This thing here will drive you to your dreams. And when things are tough and the challenges come and the roadblocks, as they inevitably will, it's the why that you go back to. My why when I was 19 was that I started a real estate job for 6 months, bloody hated it. I hated working for the boss, didn't feel right. And I said, well, I'd rather design my own life and not wake up to the alarm clock and have a half an hour lunch break and finish at 5. Every one of us has unique creative passions that I believe we're meant to express to the world. And you can earn income off that. It's a byproduct of doing your passion. That's the most important thing. Okay, going back to say yes, then work out how. It sort of goes back to what I said before. The important thing is you say yes, and then you work out how. So rather than working out how, say maybe, and then I'll work it out how, and then maybe I'll say yes, it's best to say yes to something that might overwhelm you, and then in the process of that, you'll work out how to do it. And I really believe we're born to step out in faith, and that's where our biggest learnings come. Be courageous enough to experiment. Doesn't matter how crazy or fanciful the idea is, be courageous enough just to experiment with it. Have a go. And to go back on that, I really love that line. There's no such thing as failure, only feedback for learning. Okay, mind viruses. Mind viruses are, it's a virus that we bring on through negative thought patterns that potentially aren't yours, and you've carried them through. And the important thing is we all have these ego thoughts, our inner critic in our mind telling us we can't do this and we're not going to be good enough for that. And the important thing is to first be aware of these thought forms and just don't buy into them. And obviously the meaning, you've probably heard of it before, of the ego is edging God out. You've probably heard the meaning of fear, false evidence appearing real. So fear is the biggest thing, obviously, that stops us in a lot of things in life, particularly in business. And have you ever heard of that definition of it? Yeah, it's a really good one. And it's really important that we remind ourselves, because fear just comes up every day for all of us in whatever area. But whenever you see it, it is false evidence. It's not real, but it appears real, but don't buy into it. Fear is the biggest thing that stops most businesses flourishing, or someone pursuing an idea they've always dreamed of, is that they get to a certain point and they might have a few knockbacks early and they get fearful. They think, well, I'm not good enough. But the important thing is to realise that roadblocks will come and that the fear that you've got isn't real, so push through and be courageous. Opposite thinking ties into the same thing. Opposite thinking is when you have those negative thoughts, think of the opposite of that. So when that inner critic says, I'm not good enough, the actual truth of the matter is you are good enough. Or what does your parents think? Or, I'm not going to have the energy for it. Or what if you fail? Always think of the opposite when those thoughts come in and write them down, because that is the actual truth. Be accountable to your limiting beliefs. They may be sabotaging your attractor patterns. What are your beliefs relating to money? I've got some great little handouts here actually on affirmations, money declarations. We might actually hand those out now. I put these all over my place, on the fridge, in the toilet. I put them everywhere, and you just read them. They might seem a bit strange when you first read them, but they really do help dislodge some of these mind viruses that I spoke to you about before. Because you can have the best idea in business, and you could have everything going for you, but if you don't get your thinking right about prosperity and abundance and the subconscious mind, then it won't move or grow as quick as it could. So it's important that we start at the mindset place first and then work your way through. This is a really good visualization technique. If we could just close our eyes for a second, this one really works well for me. I created this one and it was really interesting. It just came to me intuitively. Whenever we're stuck and we've got a lack of flow of money in our lives, what I want you to do is just shut your eyes for a second and you've all seen those game shows where they get taken into this glass container and they sit on a chair and there's a whole bunch of money that they have to pull from the ceiling. It just flows right on them. And it's just an abundance flow of cash. And what they have to do is they have to, from the top of their head, have to pull the cash down and grab it as much as possible. But they only have a limited time to do it. So what I want you to do is picture yourself that now. You've walked onto the game show, Ian Turpey's there, and he said, welcome, come on board, let's come and do the grab the cash show. And you see yourself walking into that glass cylinder there, and I want you to see yourself sitting on the chair, and rather than it being a limited amount of time that the cash is pouring from the heavens down, this is just an abundance of money, and you see a swirl of money coming through. And just really picture the flow of cash on you. So picture yourself in the game show. This one's worked really well for me. So whenever you've got blocks of abundance in your life, and there's a feeling of not enough, or I haven't got enough to pay the bills, just quickly visualize yourself at the game show and just visualize that cash coming. And it's a really good one that's worked for me. Okay, meditation is really important. Extremely important, actually. Our mind is such like a monkey and it never stops. And the important thing is to be creative in business particularly, and to use law of attraction, we need to have a quiet mind. And intuition comes through having a quiet mind. And I use sound technology meditation. And these are 3 recommended tools that I use. Is everyone interested in meditation, or they've meditated before? Yeah. What I find is that I've meditated for a lot of years and I find the sound technology the best. And they're the 3 that I tend to use the most. Holosync Solution from Brian Harris. He wrote a book called The Thresholds of the Mind, and he's developed a sound technology that helps you get to the meditative state a lot easier than if you're just sitting there doing it yourself. There's another one called I Am Meditation from Wayne Dyer. This one's extremely powerful. The language of I Am is an incredibly powerful affirmation. And that sound vibration is actually linked to the Moses Code, which was a book that was written, was very powerful. So I recommend that one too. And you can look these up online. There's another one called Clear Mind. This is the one that I'm using now. It's a very new one. It's done by Paul Burrow, and he uses meditation, another sound technology meditation. And you've got to have good headphones, yeah? It goes for around 20 minutes. And this one kind of tunes in the heart as well as the mind. So you feel very balanced. And I find I get to the meditative state a lot easier than if I was just sitting there with trying to focus on my breath or something. So that's my recommendation. Hopefully it adds value. Have a look at it online. Never limit yourself. There's a field of infinite possibilities, and don't limit your thinking to what you can't achieve. There's many things, there's no limits. But the important thing is we practice on meditating and working on our subconscious mind through affirmations. There's a whole bunch of affirmations that I use on there, by the way. Very powerful affirmations that you can use along with the money declaration ones as well. This is probably the best business book I've ever read. I always refer back to it. It's called Think and Grow Rich. Has anyone heard of this one? Brilliant book. It's not just about making money. He's talking, what I'm hoping to talk about, more value is there's another side to abundance and business, and he's looking at the spirituality mixed in with business. And it was pretty much the first book that was out there that even the guys who are putting all the books out today always refer to it. It's called Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Highly recommended. Instincts and intuition, go with your gut despite what people say. You know, your intuition, your gut's always right, and just learn to practice to step out on it. Doesn't matter how crazy it is or what you might... The biggest thing is people tend to worry about what other people will think about your idea if I was to step out on it. You have to get that away, clear that away. Because that intuition, the guts, it's always right, and it leads to prosperity too. Synchronicity. Now this is another tool. I want to be a bit more practical here. This one here is called Triple Mantra. This is an amazing vehicle. It really is. Look this one up online. It's a sound vibration again. It's a mantra that you repeat, and it goes back into ancient times. And if you look on rootlight.com, you will find it. Now, everyone that I've recommended the Triple Mantra to have absolutely loved it. And it has the uncanny ability of putting you at the right place at the right time. It goes for 11 minutes, and you just have to repeat what it says. Now, the words are a bit unusual if you've never done mantras before, but just have faith, and what I'm talking about tonight is like stepping out in faith and just be open to it. You will get so much value out of this. It's a vibration that puts you in the right place at the right time and really charges up the synchronistic events that happen in your life. So look that one up online as well. It's rootlight.com. It's the one I use daily. If you go on Google, there's a couple of guys from Miami Yoga, and they actually do the Triple Mantra on YouTube. And they do it in a very elegant way, but it's sort of, there's actually hand movements to it too. It's a bit bizarre, but trust me, it works. It's incredible. And it makes you feel brilliant as well. Great way to start the day. Networking, very important. Loving people unconditionally. So powerful, you can't do everything yourself. Be at as many networking functions as possible because it is the people you meet that really help to get you where you want to go. Work ethic and follow through. One thing that really impresses me about Mind, Body and Soul project is the work ethic of these two lovely girls here. That's why I want to invest, to be honest with you, because they've got amazing passion. And these are the three critical ingredients that they have. They have the work ethic, they have the passion, and they have the drive. And work ethic is incredibly important in starting a business as well. You can't be complacent. And passion as well. That sees the energy through to what you want. And be patient. There is a season to sow and there's a season to reap, but you can't sow and reap in the same season. So be patient. Normally a business has a cycle of about 3 years before it starts making good money if it's going to grow up. That's what I find. So in the first few years, you really just have to sow into the ground. And be patient that in time, it'll reap a harvest. So, and don't give up. That's the most important thing. Power of intention. Intention is an incredibly important thing. It's important to journal every day the things that you intend to want to manifest. Might go through another little visualization technique that's very good, attracting. So if we just close our eyes for a sec. Picture something that you want right now or this week, whether it's a job promotion, whether it's a new car potentially, whatever it is, new boyfriend. And just sit with it for a sec, and I want you to picture it in your mind's eye, your third eye. I want you to picture that thing. And I want you to give it a colour. give it a colour, and I want you to feel what it would feel to have that thing, what your feelings would be, what those feelings would be. And I want you to picture yourself exactly receiving that thing that you want, but I want you to really feel it. Really feel it. And be patient in just getting that feeling right. And once you feel it, it could be driving the brand new Aston or walking to that new house, and that feeling of excitement and feeling of joy. And when you feel that feeling, open your eyes. Did we get that at all? Okay, that feeling is, you do that enough times every day, you will manifest that exact thing, because our feelings are so important to the manifesting. So give it a colour first and then feel what you desire. And that feeling of that desire, that excitement, your subconscious has to create that, because we're an emotional being. So just something on your bank account as well that's worked very well for me is give it a number of how much you'd like in your account at the end of each month. Something that's worked very well for me. I've just put, and I got that from Think and Grow Rich, by the way. So if you've got, say, 5,000 in there, you say by the end of the month I want 10,000 or 10.5. And more often than not it'll get there if you write it down and you have it on a vision board and you look at it every week. And don't be too, you can be fairly outrageous with it as well. But be realistic at the same time. But but the zeros are very important, right? Very important. Generosity, law of reciprocity, this is important. It's always good to keep the money flowing. Tithing's always good, 10%. Keep it going, because it keeps energy. Money's an energy, so it's important to keep the flow of it happening, and in turn you'll never be without. Never be without. Never be afraid to be generous. Money is a tool at the end of the day, anyway. Is that it on this one? Yep. Any questions, guys? Anyone struggling with anything in their business, or struggling to start and wondering what the next step is? Yep. It's not harder to make money than giving it away. I actually think the important thing is that you start giving, not when you've got heaps of money in the bank. It's to start when you've got nothing as well. It's important to get that generosity going early. It's easy to be generous when you've got a stack of money in the bank. It's harder to be generous when you've got bugger all, right? But they're the tests early that you get given to get to the next stage. You know what I mean? It's an energetic thing. So I think it's important just to have your mind on being generous all the time, but not to the point where you're silly either. You've got to be important where you put your money as well, investing in particular. I'm at a stage now where it's given me a lot of value to give. I went through a stage where I wanted to make a lot, and I'm sort of done that now, and I'm sort of wanting to give back, like I said at the start. So for me, the more I give, using my intuition to where to give, you have to be very discerning about where you put your money. You'll never be left without, particularly in ventures that have a good purpose, like this one here. It's helping people. So yeah, it's just always had, and don't think that when you're giving that money that, there's not enough to go around and I'm not going to have it again. It doesn't really work that. It's just another fear thought, So when you feel inclined to give, just do it from your heart. You'll never be without. That's what I find. So, yo.
How did you make money when you were 21? Where did you start?
I had, my first business was over 0.05. Over 0.05, we can drive. So I set up a company where I used to drive people home once they had too much to drink. We used to drive their car home. But that was a good learning curve, and we used to drive really flash cars, Mercs and Beamers, and so that was fun, but the hours got to us in the end. And so But, I went from there and learnt a whole bunch and moved on to the next thing. And then if you keep trying something, there'll be something that really works out for you. The important thing is to keep persevering and remember there is no such thing as failure, only feedback for learning. So you learn from that. I've seen so many examples where someone has one business, it fails, or they think it's failure, and they give up. They go back to working. I said, well, man, have you got more dreams? Oh, no, it didn't work. But that's important, just to get a learning for it, move on. Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. It's really important to know when to let a business go. If it's not working. Let it go, it's okay. Don't get too attached. A lot of the times businesses that weren't going to work out for whatever reasons, and a lot of it might not be your fault. Market conditions, too much competition, whatever. But the tendency is to hold on to that business and get driven down more financially, where the best thing to do is to get to a point where you say, all right, well, it's not working out. We've given it 3 years. It's blown our budget a little bit. Let's not feed this anymore. Let it go and move on to another thing. Attachment is very important as well. And too many people work in their business and not on it. My mindset whenever I'm in business, and it has been from a young age, is leverage. Is getting myself out of the business, get managers in, so I can move on to the next thing. I've currently got 5 companies, and they're all pretty much leveraged out. And it isn't as hard as you think. It really isn't. Too many people are attached to their business too much. And they think, I have to be here, I have to control it, I have to know where this is. Just get the right people in. You're not in business to, work your bum off and not have a life, So attachment is very important. Yeah. Thank you.
It's all about mindset, Sally. Yeah, remember that. Cool. I'll see you then. Bye for now. Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. Law of attraction in business. Pretty cool principles, hey? Hope some of those ideas weren't too far out for you either. But believe me, they do work. All my DVDs, the themes will be based around the subconscious mind and ways it can relate to business and principles and ways we can improve other areas of our life as well. So that being said, I hope to see you again at my next seminar or coaching session. My details are in the DVD, and plus remember you do get that bonus CD of the triple mantra, so it saves you having to download it online. And it's only 11 minutes long, and I explain it pretty well on the DVD what that's all about. What I did forget to mention, it is an energy and a vibration that actually creates protection in your life as well. So you might miss out on that car accident, you might miss out on some of the negative things that potentially might happen that day, and it might actually divert that from happening and move you into more of a positive circumstance. So I forgot to mention that. So it has a lot of qualities about it. It only goes for 11 minutes. I tend to do mine in the morning. So that's why we've offered it as a CD, because it is a very powerful mantra. And don't forget about the meditations also. And yeah, you just go through each principle and practice them at will. And I'll hope to see you again. Thank you. Namaste. Bye for now.